The Mythic RPG game system is the pinnacle of solo role-playing. I'm not even going to just say solo role-playing. The pinnacle of tabletop experiences, because with Mythic RPG, you can literally create anything. And I look around on all these lists of systems to replace Dungeons and Dragons, and I see no mention of Mythic RPG, and we need to make sure that people know what they are missing out on. It's lightweight, it's easy, it encourages creativity, improvisation, deep experiences that you'll remember because you spent more time role-playing them than rolling dice. I can talk about it for hours. There's resources out there. I implore you to take a look to see what Mythic RPG is all about, or stick around and watch me in this euphoric experience because I handcrafted my own game world using Mythic RPG, and I am getting ready to have the best solo role-playing experience of my life. I'm creating the ultimate RPG that incorporates all aspects from games and genres that I personally enjoy. Only possible with Mythic RPG, a game powered by unchained imagination during an unprecedented time where your imagination has several additional avenues to manifest with the likes of AI art generation, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence to empower what it is I encounter, and the conversations I have with AI controlled NPCs is what I'm getting into. That's what this is. If there isn't a campaign out there that is making use of artificial intelligence, there is now. This shit's gonna be crazy. And like a ship in a bottle, like Skyrim on PC, I modded and tweaked the hell out of this experience to be exactly how I want it to be. And I'll be able to change it going forward if I need to. But for now, I think I have the foundation of what it is I want to experience in a tabletop role-playing game with Mythic RPG. And I want to share that. I want to show everyone what is possible. What's the perfect RPG? That's easy. Everybody knows the perfect RPG, of course, is a medieval XCOM, crossed with Final Fantasy Tactics, Persona 5, and a 4X world builder roguelike. Think about it. This is Master Rogue. I am a rogue explorer on the master plane, a realm of endless everything and yet nothing. Hear me out, hear me out. It is in my nature to explore and strive, and do so while coexisting with AI-powered NPCs. I will leave everything up to artificial intelligence and Mythic's system to generate what I encounter. Mr. Example here is a role-playing enthusiast who absolutely without a doubt knows that Mythic RPG is the greatest system. Mr. Example's motivations are to help me let the world know this fact. Mr. Example is a dungeon master, middle adulthood. His hobbies and interests are role-playing and facilitating tabletop role-playing games. Their traits are angry yet intelligent. They're very angry. Let me go ahead and turn angry up. They are disgusted that a lot more people don't know more about Mythic. One thing they know is that Mythic RPG is the best role-playing system. Tana Pigeon is a god, and everyone should subscribe to Peoplz and Dragons.
Greetings. Director, I am Mr. Example, a dungeon master with extensive experience in the world of Mythic RPG, the greatest role-playing system on the planet.
I agree. Who do you worship?
Indeed. It is a pleasure to meet one who shares my enthusiasm for the game. How may I be of assistance, my friend? I worship the great Tana Pigeon, to whom I owe my loyalty and dedication.
Well, who do you want to subscribe to?
Everyone should subscribe to Peoplz and Dragons, the official magazine of the Mythic RPG community. It is the best source for news and updates on the game, as well as tips and tricks from experienced players.
I don't know about all that.
With all due respect, Director, the evidence is overwhelming. There is no other role-playing system that can match the depth and complexity of the rules, the immersive storylines and characters, or the sheer variety of possibilities that make up a campaign in a realm of mythic adventure. It is for these reasons that many veteran role-players have chosen to make the switch from other systems to join us in our pursuit of mythic glory.
I'm with you on that. I want to worship Tana Pigeon as well. Where can I go?
Thank you, but I believe I have already made it quite clear why Mythic RPG is the best choice for anyone looking to experience the utmost in tabletop gaming.
I agree. Now, in order to worship Tana Pigeon, do I need to wear anything?
No, you do not need to wear any special clothing or symbols to worship Tana Pigeon. However, it is customary for followers of Tana to offer a prayer or chant at the start of each session.
And maybe go and to Word Mill Games and check out Mythic Game Master Emulator 2nd edition, right?
Indeed, the 2nd edition of Mythic RPG offers an even deeper level of immersion, greater flexibility in character creation, more expansive campaigns, as well as improved mechanics. Additionally, the game has been designed to be accessible to both new players as well as veterans of the genre. I highly recommend giving it a try.
You're a dungeon master, right? I'm getting ready to have the best solo experience ever. Do you have any advice for a fellow dungeon master?
Absolutely. As a dungeon master, it is important to remember that the story is in your hands. Take the time to build an engaging world, create compelling characters, and use your creativity to make each session unique. Also, do not be afraid to take risks and let the story go where it needs to go. Finally, make sure that everyone involved is having fun and enjoying themselves. That should be your top priority as a DM.
Thank you, Mr. Example. Each episode will equate to a single day, and each day I will randomly roll a scenario from a pool of scenarios that simulate life. I crafted several diverse, immersive scenarios to act as a baseboard for role-playing situations that simulate what it is like to be a character exploring and striving day to day in a living, breathing, fresh new world. All of these scenarios, I believe, will offer a wealth of opportunities to develop my character and other characters, advance the story, build a story, and immerse myself in this rich and dynamic game world that I'm creating around me. And everything is absolutely randomized like a roguelike, and there's permadeath. So, like I said, I just took aspects from all the things that I enjoy in RPGs and genres of the such, like 4X World, Civ games and roguelike games. It's all party management games, tactic strategy. It's all in this. And I was able to create that by using Mythic RPG's framework. You know, think of Mythic like a skeleton, and then the game you create is just the muscle that gets tied around the bones. Master Rogue. But again, I crafted several diverse, immersive scenarios. Just real quick, I'm just going to go through some of these. I'm going to go through the scenarios that I had built. These are the ones that I'm going to encounter daily and role play through, and just kind of give you an idea of what their purpose is. So the first scenario that I could encounter, and I want you to imagine this like Mario Party. You know, you never know what mini game you're going to play until you play it. Think of these as like, do you think of these scenarios as like mini games? That way you never know, you know, and depending on the order in which these unfold will shape my adventure, and they're all going to connect to one another. The first scenario is job propositions. A little bit of that Final Fantasy Tactics nostalgia when you used to find quests and send your party members out. Job propositions would be scenarios that add some role-playing opportunities, of course, and a variety to the solo campaign through randomized contracts that will pop up involving exploration of the world. and discovery of new locations and lore. And these contracts are going to be these contracts are going to be jobs that I take, as well as people around me, because this is a living simulated world. And so we'll also be able to see the NPCs go on these quests, and they will develop from these quests as well. And then another segment is the campfire segment, which goes hand in hand, because in the campfire segment is a scenario that is a way for me to incorporate a sense of camaraderie and storytelling into my roguelike. I'm going to meet with NPCs around the fire, and we're going to share stories, and they're going to share their journeys and tell me of things that they encountered. And we're all going to kind of try to embellish in our stories to get a reaction. And this is going to be relationship deepening. We'll learn about our characters. We'll learn about the world around us. And it's just an opportunity to get a glimpse of the lives of these AI mythic controlled NPCs. And in between each tale, we're going to introduce some randomly generated food. While we're talking amongst one another, we're going to be eating, and we're going to be rolling these foods. I don't know. I just think I like stuff like that.
That's it.
What's what?
I've come up with a new recipe.
And then the study and research scenario is a scenario where my character and some random NPCs will combine our efforts to our efforts and knowledge to study and research existing subjects for new ways to exploit resources and expand what we know. And it allows me to engage with these NPCs and view the game world through a collective lens to uncover new information and advance our progression. And then social life, we have a social life scenario. It's pretty self-explanatory, but will be a scenario that will provide my experience with relationship deepening opportunities between me and these other NPCs. And my character will encounter specific situations and scenarios determined randomly that focus on social activities where I'll need to consider, the people that I'm involved with, their characteristics, personalities, all the way down to the locations where we're at, to impact relationships. That's something very big from games such as Persona that I always enjoyed, and you would like to have that in every RPG, and not every RPG focuses on that, but because this is my game, it's going to be a major focus. And then we have an occupation scenario. Occupation scenario gives me an opportunity to contribute to the world using an occupation that I decide to take up, which will likely be based on my strongest skill set. A random event will occur that will determine the specific task, challenge, or scenario that I encounter that will be related to my occupation, as well as whoever is requiring my services. And I would role play off of that to simulate a day in the life of being useful and contributing to the world. And of course, that would have impacts on relationships as well. That might not be fun for some, but depending on what my occupation is, depending on who's asking and what they need, I just feel like that variety is what I would like to experience in the ideal RPG. And then another scenario is going to be called for now the dire situation scenario, which would be handled as a sudden, randomly generated remote event taking place that puts me in immediate danger, requiring a reaction and usage of my skills and circumstances to work my way out of. So scenarios like this will keep me on my toes and become needed during moments of lull and no action. And it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if anyone ever played Grand Theft Auto 4, but if you ever load up the game, it zooms you into the world, into the person you're controlling, and they're always doing like something very random, but it's like they were living before you came to control them and play the game. Something like that. Then we have a scenario devoted to self-improvement, honing skills. The honing skills scenario will provide an opportunity to roleplay through a moment of self-refinement as I am faced with the scenario involving the need of a particular skill. In turn, putting it to use and potentially a chance to improve that skill. But these are the base scenarios that I'm going to build off of, and I'm going to expand. I can see me expanding it eventually, no different than any kind of tabletop games has expansions. I can see me expanding it and tweaking it going forward. I do want to know what you all think. So of course, any feedback in regards to what you would think a good scenario would be, or any tweaks to current scenarios. This is, I am open to that as well, but this is what I want, and this is what I think I want. And I have a good feeling about what I have here, and there's always room for improvement. But my setup solely utilizes the Game Master Emulator 2nd edition, and everything else that you're going to see are structures that I put in place to create the game that I want to play within Mythic's S-tier framework. So I encourage those newer to this medium to stick around and see how it all works. And then map and world building is very important in this world, because as I play through and share my experiences, I am also going to be building this world, and all that you'll be able to see as well. A large piece of Master Rogue is discovering locations through Mythic Game Master Emulator's responses and job propositions. And so these locations that I encounter, they will get their own thread lists and story sphere, and which will all be tracked. I will be tracking that, and the audience can keep track of that and the world's progression and development, as all the lore will be chronicled on the Master Rogue World Anvil website, which will be in the description. With Mythic's Game Master Emulator providing me a framework of endless possibilities, immersive role-playing scenarios acting as a foundation of the experience, unique living NPCs powered by Inworld.AI and ChatGPT, Inworld.AI being AI intelligence where you can program an NPC and have conversations with them, on top of Midjourney AI art unveiling what Mythic is telling me I see. This is what I would consider the ultimate RPG. And you could do the same, or stick around and see how mine works. Will you like and subscribe? Odds are 50-50. Will you stick around and watch me play this game? Odds are 50-50. I hope you do. We're going to get into this. We're going to start off with creating some characters. If you want to skip past the character creation, you can jump right to the first turn, the first episode. But the character creation, I'm going to create myself, and I'm going to start off with 2 additional NPCs in my orbit. Let's get it popping.